In this video, we're going to take a look at the Cheb rig, or the Cheburaska rig as it's commonly known. You may also see this written as a bottom jig, which is more of a Western name for it. Okay, let's take a look at where the name originates. So the word Cheburaska comes from a Soviet toy. As you can see on the screen here, it's a toy that's got two big ears. The Cheb rig, when it was created, was said to look like one of those. Now, when the Cheb, I think I've been fishing the Cheb for about, I don't know, I want to say 12 years now. When it first originated, when it first come into the UK, we were using lead. So if I get these out of the way, okay, let's have a look at the Cheb. In its first instance, it come into the UK, and we started off with these. They were lead. They often had quite big wires. And the idea with the Cheb, let's show you its basic form. So it's got a larger slot and a smaller slot, and the wire is tapered with a bigger bit at the far end. And the idea is you can just rig whatever hook you want and match it up to the weight. So if you wanted to use a 1.5 gram or a 10 gram in this instance, you can keep the same hook size and use it with each of the weights. So you don't end up with that big box of jig heads with many different hook sizes and many different weights. I'm going to get these out of the way and just show you simply how they go together. So the first thing you want to do, you've identified your hook. I'm going to use a weedless hook with this. I've got my wire, I've taken it out of the Cheb, and I'm going to attach the hook to the wire. So what I'm looking to do here is get that point. I'm going to thread it around, and we end up with this. Okay, we then take the wire, we're going to push it through the larger of the two slots. So I don't know if you can see that well on the camera. That's the small one. We've got a larger one there. I'm going to push the wire through, and we have a 5 gram Cheb with a 4-0 hook, and that's ready to go. Now I can then choose my soft plastic that I'm going to use. Rig it up like so, and off we go. I've got a really good kind of easy weedless setup there. Now where these are really handy for bass fishing is that you can change the weight without having to change the hook in the lure. So if you know you've got the perfect rig there, so you found the right hook for your lure, 5 grams not cutting it, you want it up to a 10 gram, you can simply slip it back off and then repeat the process. So we can take that off, put the 10 gram on, and off you go. And there's not a lot much more to it than that. Pros of this, really handy, that you don't have to carry as many different hook sizes and weights. You can get a bunch of different size Chebs and a bunch of different hooks, and away you go. Another benefit, whether you think this is a good thing or not, there's additional articulation. This rolls better, I think, in my mind. I don't know, I like it. Plus, we all struggle to find weedless jig heads a lot of the time. You know, it's hard to find a good weedless jig head, especially in the array of different weights and different hook sizes. So this really gives you the different flexibility, gives you the flexibility that you need. One of the negatives, now, not all Chebs are made equally. This one's made of lead. As we can see, it's got a pretty thin wire. This one's made of tungsten. This is from a different manufacturer. This has got a lot stiffer wire on it. I have seen some of the weaker Chebs with thin wire break when people have had their drag tightened too heavily. And only on like £20 line, really. You know, I've seen them pull out. One of the benefits of modern day Chebs is the invention of tungsten Chebs. Tungsten Chebs give you a lot more feedback. So that if you can tell from the sound there, that's a lot harder. You get a different sound from lead. Lead being a little bit softer. You get a lot more resonance back to the rod tip with tungsten. And you'll find that lead, weight for weight, so that's a 5 gram and that's a 5 gram. Tungsten's just a lot better. in terms of diameter, just enabling to give you that bit more finesse. And why else would you want to use tungsten? Well, tungsten's non-toxic, so compared to lead, you're not going to harm the environment as much losing that on the bottom as you would do with that. If you pair it up with a biodegradable soft plastic, then you're fishing a lot more ecologically minded than you would be if you were using lead. Only final thing I'll leave with you on Chebs is just buy one with a good wire. Now, I'm going to take the wire out of this one here, and I'll show you this wire here. Very difficult to pick up on the camera, but whilst that wire is a lot bigger than that wire, that one's a lot stronger. Not all wires are made kind of to the same specification. There's a lot more flex in this one. You can see how easy it doesn't take a lot to bend that. Now, on your cheaper Chebs, usually on the lead Chebs, the wires aren't really up to standard. There's a standard chance of losing a good fish using that one. This one's a lot stiffer. Now, whilst it's shorter, there's nowhere near the level of play. And I'm not giving this a scientific test. I'm just you're just going to have to take my word for it with my own hands. There's nowhere near the play in that there is in the other. That's your better option. Anyway, that's all for this one. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy that, please drop me a like and please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. If you got any questions, please drop them down in the comments section and stay tuned. There's more of these on the way. Thanks for watching.